After a dominant performance against Barcelona, Newcastle United are still fighting. So from the Yamal answer,
Don't fucking try any of that shit, because I've been here before. I'm a professional. This is what I do.
to the clinical Barnes, to discussing the huge summer transfer plan Newcastle are cooking, including the massive exciting transfer development revealed by Fabrizio Romano. As per, join us as we'll break it all down and discuss the things we learned from Newcastle United, 1 Barcelona 1 and the latest transfer news.
Let's go.
So starting off, Lewis Hall delivered one of the standout performances of Newcastle United's Champions League campaign as they drew with Barcelona on Tuesday night. Before the match, Hall had openly expressed his desire to test himself against the very best players in the world, saying there was no better opportunity than facing Barcelona. That challenge came directly in the form of Lamine Yamal, one of the most electrifying young attackers in world football. Yamal entered the match in sensational form. Across Europe's top 5 leagues, he currently leads the dribbling charts with 146 successful dribbles, putting him on a trajectory that evokes comparisons with the numbers produced by Neymar in his prime. Naturally, many expected this matchup to be extremely difficult for Hall. Instead, the Newcastle left-back produced a performance that surprised many observers. Newcastle's tactical plan played a key role in maximizing Hall's strengths. The team deliberately positioned him in isolated 1v1 situations in full-back zones to invite pressure from Barcelona's man-oriented press. The idea was simple but effective. Draw opponents toward Hall, allow him to beat the pressure through his composure, passing or ball carrying, and then release runners beyond the press. In this system, Hall became a crucial outlet for progression. Operating from left back, he proved extremely influential in possession. Hall recorded 56 touches and consistently occupied the entire left side of the pitch, offering an outlet both in build-up and in advanced areas. His ability to break pressure allowed Newcastle to advance the ball regularly, finishing the game with the second highest progression through passing and the third highest progression through carrying among Newcastle players. His creativity also stood out against one of Europe's most technically gifted sides. Hall finished the match having created 5 chances, the most of any player on the pitch, against a Barcelona team known for its creativity and ball control. That statistic alone highlights just how influential he was in Newcastle's attacking phases. Defensively, Hall also handled his primary task remarkably well. Despite facing one of the world's most dangerous dribblers, he kept Yamal extremely quiet throughout the game. For the first time in his Champions League career, Yamal did not attempt a single dribble in a match. Hall ended the game with a solid 7.1 rating and produced several key defensive contributions, including 1 interception, 7 recoveries, and 8 ground duels contested with 5-1. He also won his only aerial duel and committed just 1 foul, while never being dribbled past all game. Although Yamal did eventually score, it came from a late penalty that had nothing to do with Hall's defending. Aside from that moment, the Barcelona winger struggled to impose himself on the game. He failed to create a chance from open play and managed only 3 touches inside Newcastle's penalty box. For a player capable of dominating matches, that level of containment says a great deal about Hall's performance. Performances like this are why many observers now consider Hall among the best young defenders in world football. Shutting down a player of Yamal's quality on one of the biggest stages in club football is no small achievement. It demonstrated that the 21-year-old is capable of competing with the very best attackers in the game. Recognition is also growing beyond Newcastle supporters. Rival fans and analysts alike have begun praising Hall's all-round ability this season. Statistically, he has been one of the most complete fullbacks in the Premier League, grading above the positional average in every major category. Among under-21 fullbacks in Europe's top 5 leagues, Hall currently ranks first per 90 minutes in numerous metrics, including defensive duels won, interceptions, possession wins, progressive actions, crosses into the box, forward passes completed, and progressive passes completed. Leading so many categories simultaneously highlights not just his attacking quality, but also his defensive reliability and intelligence. Taken together, these numbers underline what many are beginning to recognize. Lewis Hall is a genuine world-class talent in the making. If he continues performing at this level, it will be difficult for England manager to overlook him when selecting his squad for the upcoming World Cup. For Newcastle supporters, this performance carried an extra layer of significance. Hall's early days on Tyneside were not always smooth, but nights like this show just how far he has progressed. To shine against Barcelona, on perhaps the biggest stage of his young career, was a powerful statement of the player he is becoming. However, while Lewis Hall was arguably Newcastle's standout performer against Barcelona, it was interesting that UEFA awarded Harvey Barnes the official player of the match. In a statement published on UEFA's website, the panel explained their decision by highlighting Barnes's tactical intelligence and attacking movement. They stated that Barnes displayed clever tactical positioning in both defense and attack, consistently threatening Barcelona's backline with his runs, which eventually resulted in the opening goal. At first glance, the decision was somewhat surprising. From a Newcastle perspective, Hall appeared to dominate the game with his defensive control and creativity from left back. However, that does not diminish the quality of Barnes's performance. The winger still produced an excellent display and finished the match with a strong 7.4 rating. Although Barnes only recorded 29 touches during the game, he made nearly every involvement count. His approach was direct and purposeful whenever he received the ball, constantly looking to threaten Barcelona's defense. That intent was reflected in his shooting numbers, as he registered 4 shots, the most of any player in the match. From those attempts, Barnes scored 1 crucial goal and generated a 0.72 expected goals value, showing that he consistently found himself in dangerous scoring areas. He also struck the woodwork once, coming close to adding another goal to his tally. A key part of Barnes's game throughout the night was his willingness to run beyond Barcelona's defensive line. He repeatedly attempted to break in behind, which explains why he was caught offside 3 times. While that statistic can sometimes look negative, in this context it actually demonstrates how aggressively he was trying to stretch Barcelona's back line and exploit spaces. Even if many Newcastle supporters felt Lewis Hall deserved the award, Barnes was certainly not an undeserving recipient. His goal ultimately came from exactly the type of movement he had been attempting all night. He quietly drifted into the 6-yard box, evaded his marker, and met Jacob Murphy's cross to score. A moment that perfectly encapsulates Barnes's instinctive attacking style. The goal also continued Barnes's outstanding Champions League campaign. With that strike, he now has 9 goal contributions in the competition this season, made up of 6 goals and 3 assists across 11 appearances. To put that into perspective, Barnes's 9 Champions League goal contributions this season surpassed the best campaign produced by Bukayo Saka in the competition, which stands at 8. That statistic alone highlights just how effective Barnes has been in Europe. His form in the competition has also been remarkably consistent. During the group stage, he recorded a goal involvement in 6 of the 8 matches. Since the knockout rounds began, he has already added 2 assists along with the goal against Barcelona. Reflecting on the match afterward, Barnes praised the collective defensive effort from the team, saying that Newcastle played really well and managed to keep many of Barcelona's dangerous players quiet. That comment reflects the overall discipline Newcastle showed throughout the game. Looking at the broader picture, Barnes has been an important attacking contributor for Newcastle this season. Across all competitions, he has played 47 matches, scoring 14 goals and providing 4 assists. While Lewis Hall may have produced the most eye-catching all-round performance on the night, Barnes's decisive attacking contribution ensured he left his mark on the match as well. His movement, finishing instincts, and willingness to constantly attack space were key reasons Newcastle were able to trouble one of Europe's strongest teams. Overall, Newcastle United showed tremendous resilience as a team. Every player contributed, working collectively to secure a valuable 1-1 draw against Barcelona in the Champions League. While the result may have felt slightly frustrating given how late the equaliser came, the performance itself demonstrated Newcastle's growing maturity on the European stage. The Magpies approached the match knowing how dangerous Barcelona could be, especially after painful experiences earlier in the competition when Marcus Rashford caused them problems during the group stage. This time, however, Eddie Howe's side were far more organised and disciplined, ensuring they stayed competitive against Hansi Flick's team and left themselves with a genuine chance heading into the return leg at the Camp Nou. The first half was extremely balanced. Neither side truly took control of the match, and both teams appeared somewhat cautious in their approach. Newcastle generated just 0.27 expected goals, while Barcelona managed 0.34 xG, showing how limited the attacking opportunities were during the opening period. Defensively, both sides remained compact, and chances were few and far between. While the late equaliser denied Newcastle a memorable win, the overall performance still showed tremendous character from Eddie Howe's team. They remained organized, disciplined, and difficult to break down against one of Europe's strongest sides. Barnes's goal once again highlighted his importance in the Champions League this season, while the team's collective defensive effort demonstrated how much Newcastle have grown tactically under Howe. In the end, the 1-1 draw leaves the tie very much alive. Newcastle now head to the Camp Nou, knowing they have already proven they can compete with Barcelona, and with the resilience they showed in this match, they will believe they still have a real chance of progressing. Then in some transfer news, Newcastle United are reportedly considering a summer move for Marcus Tavernier, with fresh reports suggesting the club are exploring the possibility of bringing the Bournemouth midfielder back to Tyneside. According to Team Talk, the Magpies are among several Premier League sides monitoring the 26-year-old following an impressive campaign with AFC Bournemouth. The link carries an added layer of interest for Newcastle supporters, given Tavernier actually began his career in the academy at Newcastle United, before moving on earlier in his development. Since then, the midfielder has built his reputation through spells at Middlesbrough FC and Bournemouth, evolving into a versatile Premier League performer capable of operating both out wide and through central attacking areas. Tavernier has been described as a live wire this season thanks to his energy, movement, and ability to influence games in different positions. Those qualities are believed to appeal to Newcastle's recruitment team, who have consistently targeted players capable of fitting into Eddie Howe's high-intensity system. His flexibility across the attacking midfield roles could make him a valuable option for a squad expected to compete across multiple competitions. However, Newcastle are unlikely to have a clear run at the player. Reports indicate that Manchester United have also been tracking Tavernier, while Tottenham Hotspur, West Ham United, and Aston Villa are also said to admire the Bournemouth midfielder. With several clubs assessing attacking reinforcements ahead of the summer window, competition for his signature could quickly intensify. Bournemouth, meanwhile, are not expected to part with the player easily. The Cherries recently rewarded Tavernier with a new contract, highlighting his growing importance in Andoni Iraola's system. Across 26 appearances this season, he has contributed 10 goals and assists, underlining his influence in Bournemouth's attacking play. For Newcastle, the appeal would go beyond sentiment. Bringing back a former academy player who has matured into a productive Premier League midfielder could represent a smart squad addition. While it may not be a headline-grabbing signing, Tavernier's versatility, work rate, and familiarity with English football could make him a useful piece in Newcastle's evolving project. Then, in another development, Arsenal could reportedly be willing to listen to offers for Leandro Trossard during the upcoming summer transfer window, with interest already emerging from several clubs, including Newcastle United. According to Sportsboom, the Gunners may consider negotiations if bids in the region of £20 to £25 million are submitted for the Belgian international. Trossard has been a useful attacking option since arriving from Brighton and Hove Albion in 2023, contributing goals and creativity whenever called upon. His versatility has allowed him to operate on either wing or through the middle as a false nine, making him a valuable tactical option for manager Mikel Arteta. However, Arsenal's attacking depth has grown significantly in recent seasons. With the likes of Bukayo Saka and Gabriel Martinelli firmly established in the forward line, competition for minutes has intensified, leaving Trossard rotating in and out of the starting 11. But given that Trossard had been in good form, the main reason is as he approaches 31 by the start of next season, Arsenal may see the summer as a good opportunity to raise funds while continuing their long-term strategy of refreshing the squad with younger talent. Newcastle are believed to be among the clubs assessing the situation closely. Manager Eddie Howe is thought to value experienced attackers who can operate across multiple positions, and Trossard's Premier League experience could make him an attractive option as the Magpies look to strengthen their attacking depth while competing domestically and in Europe. Interest is not limited to Tyneside, though. Aston Villa are also said to be monitoring the Belgian forward, with Unai Emery believed to admire players capable of quick transitions and positional flexibility. Trossard's intelligent movement and technical ability are qualities that could fit well within Villa's tactical structure. With Arsenal potentially open to offers and several Premier League clubs keeping a close eye on developments, Trossard's future could become one of the more intriguing storylines heading into the summer transfer window. However, it's not only in the Premier League that the Magpies are looking for options. Newcastle United have also stepped up their pursuit of Allan. with fresh reports from Brazil suggesting the club recently sent an official to monitor the highly rated midfielder more closely. The 21-year-old has emerged as one of the most promising talents at Palmeiras, and his performances have begun attracting growing interest from several European sides. According to Brazilian journalist Felipe Lemos, Newcastle dispatched a representative to Brazil to follow the player firsthand and begin establishing contact around a potential transfer. The move represents a step forward from simple background scouting, signaling that the Magpies are eager to position themselves early in the race should an opportunity arise. The visit also forms part of Newcastle's wider scouting strategy in South America, where the club has increasingly focused on identifying young talents with high potential before their value skyrockets. Allan has quickly become one of Palmeiras' standout prospects after breaking into the first team, and his progress has not gone unnoticed by clubs across Europe. However, convincing Palmeiras to sell will not be easy. Journalist Andre Hernan recently reported on ESPN Brazil that club president Leila Pereira has no intention of parting ways with the midfielder at this stage. The Brazilian side view Allan as an important figure in their plans this season and have already rejected approaches from European teams, including interest from SSC Napoli. Pereira has previously made the club's stance clear, explaining that Palmeiras will only consider a sale if a proposal benefits both the club and the player, and that there is no urgency to cash in on academy talents. As a result, European clubs are currently attempting to stay close to the situation through agents and scouting rather than entering formal negotiations. For Newcastle, maintaining a presence in Brazil ensures they remain well positioned should Palmeiras eventually soften their stance. While a deal may not be imminent, the Magpies appear determined not to miss out on a player many believe could become one of South America's next major exports to European football. Then also Newcastle United are reportedly keeping a close eye on highly rated youngster Sasha Brzicki, with the versatile Parma talent emerging as one of the breakout players of the current Serie A campaign. The 19-year-old has impressed for Parma Calcio, quickly earning a reputation among scouts as a modern multi-role defender capable of influencing matches in several positions. Primarily a right-back, Brzicki has shown the ability to operate comfortably on both flanks. He can slot in as a traditional fullback, invert into midfield from the left, or push higher up the pitch as a right winger when required. That tactical flexibility has made him a particularly attractive prospect for clubs looking for adaptable players suited to the demands of modern football. Newcastle scouts are believed to see Brzicki as a potential long-term option as the club gradually prepares for life after Kieran Trippier. His ability to contribute both defensively and offensively fits the profile of fullbacks typically favored by manager Eddie Howe, who values players capable of pressing high and supporting attacks down the flanks. However, Newcastle are far from alone in their admiration. AFC Bournemouth have also been monitoring the Swiss youngster closely and view his versatility across three roles, right back, left back and right wing, as a valuable asset for squad depth. Meanwhile, Brighton and Hove Albion and Aston Villa are also believed to be studying his performances. Interest is not limited to England either. German champions Bayer Leverkusen are reportedly admirers of Brzicki's profile, particularly because his style would suit a wing-back system where attacking output and defensive discipline are equally important. Parma remain in a strong negotiating position, however. Brzicki is under contract until 2030, and the Italian club are not actively looking to sell. With interest growing across Europe, his valuation is now thought to be in the region of 25 to 35 million euros. While Parma's current stance is that the player is not for sale, a substantial offer from the Premier League could eventually force them to reconsider. Still only 19, Brzicki is widely seen as a player with enormous upside. Whether he ends up joining a top club pushing for silverware or continues his development at Parma, his versatility and tactical intelligence suggest he could become one of the most intriguing young defenders to emerge in European football over the next few years. Then, in a massive development, recent reports suggesting Manchester City were close to signing Tyno from Newcastle United have been played down by transfer expert Fabrizio Romano. This is so as speculation had grown over the weekend following Newcastle's 3-1 FA Cup defeat at St James Park, where Livramento made his return from injury as a second-half substitute against Pep Guardiola's side. Some reports claimed City were already in pole position to sign the 23-year-old England international in a deal worth around £70 million this summer. However, Romano has clarified that the situation is far less advanced than suggested. According to the Italian journalist, there is currently nothing concrete, advanced or close, regarding a move for the right back. Romano did confirm that Manchester City previously explored a move for Livramento during the last summer transfer window, but discussions have not progressed since then. While the defender remains admired at the Etihad, City are still evaluating several options as they plan to strengthen the right-back position. Recruitment staff at Manchester City are expected to target a specialist fullback this year as they look to provide more natural width and defensive balance in Pep Guardiola's system. This season, the club have occasionally relied on Matheus Nunes in a converted fullback role, while Rico Lewis has also featured regularly in rotation. Other potential targets continue to emerge across Europe, including Wesley Franca of AS Roma and Ivan Fresneda from Sporting CP, as new sporting director Hugo Viana prepares for another summer of squad planning. For Livramento, the immediate priority remains regaining full fitness under manager Eddie Howe. The defender has endured several injury setbacks this season, limiting him to a relatively small number of league starts. While his talent is widely admired, those fitness concerns could become a factor for any club considering a major transfer investment. For now, the situation remains one to watch rather than an imminent deal, with Manchester City continuing to assess their options, while Livramento focuses on returning to top form on Tyneside. Then finally, if you would like to know the interestingly genius tactic Eddie Howe used to destroy Manchester United, click the video link on screen now.